Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the last story of the Classic Creepies for 2020. With me today is Connor.
Hello there.
Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt.
And Yella.
Good day.
And today we are returning to Jeff the Killer, because you know what? How could we stay away? How could we say no?
How can we say no to our good boy kill? I mean Jeff. I mean murder. I mean fuck.
This is a short story synopsis by Sester, who is the alleged original creator of Jeff the Killer. If you remember from the Jeff the Killer story we read, it said that the story everybody knows is one that was posted by just someone else. And that Sester originally posted the story, but then it disappeared off the internet. And so on his DeviantArt, he has not attempted to rewrite that story or post any sort of story that we can tell about Jeff. It's mostly just backstory, just reams and reams of backstory for no real end. There's just individual posts, and then people ask just random questions for details about Jeff, and he answers them. So it's essentially just lore gone wild. There's no story anyone's actually reading. I guess in a way you could see it kind of as a wiki. It's a cart put before a horse. It's a wiki for something that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Which, there have been people who've done that intentionally in a cool way, like an encyclopedia written about a world that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
That can be compelling stuff. But, I don't want to say too much. Let's read this short story synopsis, because, there's so much we could cover. We've chosen this one thing that was linked from the Creepypasta.com story. Let's see if it's any good. Yella, if you would.
This right here is basically the event of Jeff's life told in a nutshell. I'm going to relay some points in Jeff's life that occurred. Eventually, it will be told in full detail. This is just a very simple rundown for you to get the idea of what couple events went on in Jeff's life.
Okay, why do I care?
What a way to put that.
This is
couple events.
If I can quote Bob from The Bullies Get Bullied, when they have that thing where they tell you what's going to happen in the chapter, he's like, why do we need this? I've never needed to be told what's going to happen before I read it.
Yeah. I guess I don't have to read it now. We already know what the story is about.
Yeah, he's like, guys, before I post the story, let me tell you everything that happens in the story, so that way there's no reason to read it.
It's like a fucking trailer from the 70s for a movie.
That was the acid that disfigured Jeff when he was trying to unblock and clean out the persistent clog that was inside the bathroom drain. I feel like we skipped a bunch of things. What the hell?
Where was it? Where are we? Hang on. What was the acid?
I just read the next sentence.
Wait a minute. So, in the original story, bleach spilled onto him. When I say the original, I mean the story.
Yeah,
we'll call this the story. We'll call this the synopsis. So in the story, bleach spills on him, and he's burned, and it bleaches his skin. And then he was in a fight, it didn't really make sense.
He had to
but I'm going to say it makes more sense than trying to unclog your drain with acid and somehow spilling it all over your entire body and bleaching your body white.
It happens. Sometimes you gotta lift that acid way up in the air,
this
to
is
pour
why
it down
you
your
should
drain.
always, this is why you should always wear gloves and goggles.
Yeah, and then pour it all over yourself.
Yeah, and then what you gotta do is you slide into the drain next, because you're melting, and then that'll clear your drain out.
Yeah, and then afterwards, the video pauses, and some guy steps out and says, and this is why you should always wear your HEV suit here at,
Sounds like the setup to a safety video, yeah.
What the fuck? Because
make sure you wear your goggles. You might get stuff in your eyes.
Yeah, so...
I don't know why we're selling this. It sounds way too dangerous to be sold to people.
It's on the consumer market, okay? Just don't let it touch you. Ever. You will die instantly.
Injuries can cause whitening of the skin with prolonged exposure. Plus, the crude synthetic skin that was grafted over his injuries was pale white too. And in Jeff's insanity, he bleached the rest of the skin to match his horrifying visage. Shortly after suffering a psychotic episode by carving a huge grin in his face to emulate any shred of happiness, he desperately tried to bring out due to the result of the complete down spiral of his life. What just happened halfway?
I feel like we missed something again. Why is it written like this?
Oh, I'm sorry. So he didn't spill acid all over himself. He just spilled acid on his face. And then injuries, just not even just acid injuries. Just
injuries can cause whitening of the skin.
Right.
What injuries? What happened?
The doctor was like, Jeff, we want to give you a skin graft, but the only place we could do that is somewhere that's also become completely white.
Yeah.
So you have no usable, Skin.
Yeah,
I
so
just-
Bleached
I
white.
just
You
like
have no
the
skin
idea.
left.
I just like the idea that being exposed to injuries can cause your skin to become white.
I mean, yeah, have you ever been exposed to an injury before, Yella?
wait, yeah. So acid whitened his face, and then they used fake white skin, and then he bleached his skin. So he's got like 3 things going on here: acid, bleach, and just synthetic.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like when you can't decide which one, you should just use them all.
Yeah, he got the acid on his face, and then the hospital had to use really white fake skin, and he was like, well, I guess that's my gimmick now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn all my skin pure white.
Oh man, I guess this is the life I live now.
The complete down
Oftentimes,
spiral.
when you get a gimmick, you just kind of come upon it naturally, and that's just what happened here.
Yeah.
For a while, he'd be treated as a figure of horror. People would stare at him in fear, laugh to themselves and with each other in astonishment of Jeff's ghostly features, and the people that would jump to his defense as a idol for virtue signaling and for hypocrites that would defend Jeff and put him on a pity pedestal just to use him
What?
as a tool to display how accepting and kind they are
sure.
to the freak that needs all the
Are you-
sympathy,
Ceci, are you
making
okay here,
Jeff
buddy?
feel
Or-
much less as a person and
Ceci,
as a
please?
tool for showing tolerance.
Cessior, please, can you not?
What?
Yeah.
Why
What?
can't he just bleach his skin and then go kill people? What was this?
Why does he? Yeah, he like walks around, and then he's like, "Oh, all these virtue signals." You know, I've heard people who get annoyed by that if they're like, I don't know, like in a wheelchair or something, and like people are like walking fucking eggshells around them. I mean,
Sure.
I mean, I know people in my personal life who are like that. Who hate when people walk with eggshells around them if they have like a disability or something. So it's like, I get that, but like, man, what a weird place for a hot take.
Yeah, what an unnecessary hot take in this very unnecessary story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I like that we only get the extremes here. We either get people being huge assholes towards this guy who has like this horrible injury, and we have people who are being like overly nice. It's like, okay, and what about the people who just, I don't know, treat him normally? Do those
They
exist?
don't exist. They don't
No,
exist.
don't exist.
Yeah, they're laughing and like, ha ha ha, imagine looking like Jeff the Killer in 2019. When this story was written.
Like, this was okay back in whenever, but these days, no.
You're going to cosplay as Jeff in 2019? Ah, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It has to be 2019 because if it was 2020, there'd be no cosplay. There's no conventions.
Yeah.
Jeff could see through their actions like a newly clean skyscraper window. He hated the people who tried to defend him more than the people who were not sensitive about his handicap.
What?
Wait, it's
Because
not
he's
a handicap. I mean, like, it didn't affect his function.
Yeah,
He's just-
you can still do shit and
So
kill people.
this is-
Remember when Jeff killed people?
I'm sure we'll
So
get
this
to that.
is, I think this is after the original injury, but before he went insane and bleached everything else.
I mean, what? Yeah, I guess.
So
but,
he
like,
just had a fucked up face, and then society ruined him.
Yeah.
Oh
but
my
dude,
god, what's wrong with your face?
Yeah.
His fucking like it's like, I mean, it could be handicapping, but I don't think it's legally a handicap. Like, they give him a form to fill out, and it's like, so what is your handicap? And he's like, well, as you can see, I'm a white boy. Just, what is being like? What is having really pale skin? I guess he carved a grin into his face, but like, I'm sure he can still.
Injury is for sure correct, but I don't know if handicap is correct. word here.
I think he still has full function of like the legal definition. In the United States, if you have sight, hearing, all of your senses, all of your limbs are intact. You don't have any sort of like chronic or life-threatening condition. I mean, like, if it literally just affected his appearance, it's not a handicap.
Yeah, also I just really like that he could see through their actions like a newly clean skyscraper. What a terrible simile.
What was the other, like, was it just passionate dissonance, or was there something else where we saw these like really ridiculous flowery metaphors?
I don't know.
It has specific
maybe
energy.
there have been a couple stories, but
Passionate dissonance was
are
probably
the
the worst, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what it reminds me of? Up on so many building bricks.
Oh yeah, put upon so
that
many building bricks.
makes you
yeah.
feel like that. Yeah, I know that feel. We all have had that feel. Anyway, people are not sensitive about his handicap because he saw them as fake and major hypocrites that try to appear that they see Jeff as someone who is completely normal, but those types of people wouldn't be patronizing and quickly jumping to the defense of a normal person if they were mistreated as he was. That sounds to me like you're making some
Hey,
major...
Hey, Cessure. Hey, are you listening? Hey, shut the fuck up. Shut the
Try
fuck
to
up,
appear
Cessure.
that
Shut
they
the
see
fuck
Jeff.
up.
What are you even talking about?
Shut the fuck up. No one cares. I don't even know what you're trying to say.
Normal people don't get like really strongly bullied.
Yeah, I don't.
What the
I don't think
fuck
there's
is
like.
this?
I don't think there's any like proof that he originally posted the story, but even if there was, it's not been reposted anywhere. You know,
I was trying to find. I found some stuff on YouTube, but they all look like garbage videos that I don't believe are the original one either.
Yeah.
The oldest thing I can find so far is someone on Newgrounds who has the name Killer Jeff and talks about Jeff the Killer. That's from 2006, and that's so far the oldest Jeff the Killer thing I can find.
Yeah, so assuming that, like, well, you know, let's, you know, again, go with that he did post the original story and that it was deleted. I'm really curious what the full story looked like.
I cannot imagine it looked like this.
Like, if this is just the synopsis, then I'm very curious about, like, the events in detail, actually. Like,
This is fucking insane.
The horrible metaphors.
This is paragraph-long sentences.
Yeah.
This is awful.
But like honestly, he's like dropping this hot take, but he doesn't even come to the conclusion, which is like, like if somebody has like an obvious like disability or like something that makes them look significantly different, you don't like patronize them. You also don't pretend like it doesn't exist. You know.
Yeah.
It's just you just acknowledge it as part of their life. They acknowledge it as part of their life, and you like you move on.
And you make sure that you try your best to make sure that they can still do as many things as possible on their own.
This is just insane to me. What a bad, not even necessarily what a bad take it is, but it is a bad take. But what an unnecessary take it is.
Well, no, it's so necessary.
I don't even know what the take is really.
I don't understand why this is here.
Matt, the UN is going to see this. The UN is going to read the backstory of Jeff the Killer, and it's going to inspire them to do better.
I don't know. It's just Jeff is insane. So everyone who tries to help him, thinks they're being mean to him, and that society needs to burn.
I don't even think he's insane yet. I think he's just really sensitive about his super white face and giant grin. Well, maybe he is crazy because he did carve a grin into his face. I don't know.
He did do that. Who knows?
Alrighty.
By them doing that to Jeff, all it proves is that they are treating him differently. At least
my God, he's still going!
Yeah, no, it's still going. At least the ones that do laugh or gawk at and fear him are honest about their views of the poor bastard, and they'd mock any other regular person like they did Jeff the same way.
He's still going.
Maybe they're a problem. Ironically, they treated him with more dignity and equal worth than the patronizing types that try to appear like saints and defend Jeff like a pathetic freak that needs special treatment, and not to be treated like any regular person who'd be mocked while nobody bats an eye.
What the fuck?
What is even?
Okay.
What is
laugh or gawk at and fear him, so they always fear him, even when
they're
laugh
laughing
at him.
and gawking at making fun of him, and they're super fucking
what a
spooked of
crazy
him while
guy.
they do it.
I hope he don't kills me.
Look at that guy. Look at him. Oh, Jesus.
You also always continuously harp on that the people that mock Jeff will mock anyone.
They'll do it.
The
They
people
will
who
do
defend
it.
Jeff will not defend anyone who's more normal than him.
Yeah, because here's the thing, man. Their personality type is CM. You know, they just want to piss you or anyone off. Or CB.
Yeah.
They just want to piss you or anyone off. So, he's like, hey, they make fun of me the same as they make fun of anyone else. They're not like, oh, you poor dear.
They're just
you should be so nice to this poor pale boy.
Yeah, they're just punching out at anyone, everywhere. So, they'll mock Jeff just as much as they mock, I don't know, the 15-year-old at the grocery that is ringing them up or whatever.
Even though that person probably gets mocked less in general because they probably appear more normal.
But here's the thing: this doesn't actually happen in real life. Nobody like outside of high school, but like once you're an adult, Like,
Yeah.
people generally don't walk up to you and just make fun of you to your face. That's like not
Yeah,
a common
especially
occurrence.
if you can see clearly that it's some kind of like injury or illness or something. Then it's like, oh, okay, better not be a dick. You know?
Oh man, I had to do it to him.
Here's the thing, though. If you're ever like, well, I was actually talking about this with one of my friends the other day. Like when I say the other day, I mean literally yesterday. Who happens to be blind, like legally blind. And he was like, he's like, you wouldn't believe how many times I've gotten out of like people being like angry or just like insulting towards me just because they see that I'm blind, or like they'll be getting into it with somebody else and they talk to me and all of a sudden they're nice. And I if I remember right, he said that he found it pretty annoying too.
I mean, understandable, I guess.
It's annoying to be treated like, differently. It's annoying to have people like, immediately be like, oh, blind person, gotta be nice to them, gotta be different to them. I gotta be extra nice and clearly show that I'm treating. Here's the thing, you should just be nice to people in general. You shouldn't be nice to somebody just because you see that they're blind or they're deaf or they're Jeff the Killer. You should be nice to people. Right. Just
be
general.
nice. Be nice to your local Jeff the Killer, is what we're saying.
Exactly. But be nice to everyone is what we're saying.
Hey, you guys thought he was done with this point, by the way?
Oh, God.
I mean, it has made up the entire story so far.
I mean, I think this is the last of it, but despite disliking the virtue signalers more, he still had deep hatred for the people that mocked him and treated him like a dangerous monster. It caused his depression to worsen. His hatred grew stronger, and his disdain for humanity grew and grew and grew. It resulted in him becoming a recluse most of the time. The rare times he'd leave his house, he made sure not to draw any more attention than he did before, so he made some changes to his appearance to enjoy going out in public like he used to.
Nice. Good for you.
I'm glad.
Let's see what kind of changes he made.
I'm glad that you worked some things to try and get out after you found yourself closing off from...
Yeah, good. Let's see how he changed. Let's see how he improved himself. Hid his whatever. Let's see.
Yeah,
his hatred
improved
grew 3
himself.
sizes that day.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
It did. Holy shit.
Okay.
He grew out his hair from neglect of his personal care and to blend into the night to get the drop on his victims.
What? Long hair blended to the night?
Hey man,
What the fuck is this?
I'm growing my hair out long. Yella has long hair. This anonymous friend of mine, who was actually in the vacation vlog, so I guess he's not that anonymous, also has long hair. So fuck you for attacking long hair.
Yeah, no, I take care of this hair.
Imagine how much sneakier Batman would be if he had long hair.
Beautiful flowing hair, yeah.
Oh man, that's actually a really good image. I like that.
Do you remember when Superman had long hair? I'm one of the few people who thinks that was a high point for Superman.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I can see that. Anyway, so yeah, to get the drop on his victims, he already has victims, I guess. We didn't mention yet that he victimizes people in some way, murder, but here it is.
I didn't even know he did that.
It's okay he murders them though because they were virtue signaling.
Exactly.
I thought he was just trying to go outside again, but okay.
That's a weird.
Yeah, he was going outside again to murder people. During the day, he wears sunglasses to cover his freakish eyes, a surgeon's mask to hide his lower face when in public. As time went on,
he's just living in 2020.
He's living in 2020. Yeah. As time went on, he slowly stopped going out a day and practically became a nocturnal force of carnage and destruction, finding potential victims he deemed evil, corrupt, and superficial. Before his incident, he was a fairly attractive guy. He had a decent social life. He was able to draw a crowd in a good way. Some people didn't like him, and some he didn't like. But it was not due to something that was out of control. He had an easygoing life, and his life just got started shortly before the event of 2007 changed his life for good.
Oh my God!
Okay, I have questions, and you're not answering them. What is his? Who does he deem evil, corrupt, and superficial? You were talking about how he hates virtue signalers, then you were talking about how he also hates the people making fun of him, but like...
Essentially, like...
What is his category for evil, corrupt, and superficial? Is he going after corrupt politicians now, or what?
Well, anyone can be corrupt. I think he's probably going after the non-based.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Does he look people up to hunt them down, or does he find
Is he the
random
fucking
targets?
Punisher now? Is he Venom?
I don't know.
I mean, to be
What
fair,
the fuck is this?
just
Why is
stalks-
this Jeff the Killer? This
he
is
just-
garbage.
I mean, Matt, I think what he does actually is he stalks like blogs and stuff, and he sees which people have really bad takes, and then he goes after them.
yeah.
Yeah.
God.
He just searched Jeff the Killer on Tumblr and see what people were saying.
Yeah. Or any social media site, and just like, well, these people are evil, corrupt, and superficial. Time to get my knife out.
What a fucking waste of life.
Yeah.
Get a fucking hobby.
Wait, are you talking to Jeff the Killer or Sesher?
Both. At this rate, it just feels like this isn't Jeff the Killer at all. It's just Cessier's weird political views.
Sesher the hot taker.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just the man of hot takes. He's just putting them all in this weird fucking... Not even a story, just a short story
It's a synopsis.
synopsis.
It's
that's
a
written like
synopsis
the
of a short
rant.
story.
Yeah, it's like a fucking Yohimune rant. I'm half expecting the next fucking paragraph to talk about chip implants.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
imagine if Yoayamune only placed, Card in the Corner, by the way, only, like, posted rants and never published any of his stories. That's what
Yeah,
this is like.
imagine if, like, every story Yohimune posted, or every chapter Yohimune posted was just, like, his insane fucking chip implant rants.
Yeah, and his talk
Yeah.
about, oh god, Joey Muna got really weird at some points. Let's not get into that now. We have enough weird as it is, honestly.
I mean, that's all this
Yeah,
is!
I mean, also, I don't even have a clever reference to it, just Sorting Hat, Card in the Corner.
Yeah, sort
It
of.
really does feel... I'm getting mad Sorting Hat vibes from this.
I want this guy to start talking about cell phones and the weather.
Yeah, oh, please tell me the next one's gonna have something to do with chip implants and the weather. And England, please.
England, yeah. Let's have some hot takes on England. So he knew exactly what he could no longer enjoy due to the shallowness of the world. His social life was in shambles, and he eventually faked his death and cut ties with the people he knew. That's usually part of faking your death.
Faking your death would cut ties with everyone.
It's kind of the point. Either because they turned on him, or because he was too ashamed and didn't want the remaining friends that were loyal to get wrapped up. Jeff
What?
nearly
Wrapped
attempted
up in what?
in the whole thing, I guess.
And his Vengeance
What is
Crusade.
the whole thing?
Everything so far,
I don't know, man.
which, yeah, I don't know, is a good...
I can't be me anymore. You don't want to know me anymore. I don't
That's
know.
how I feel.
Jeff nearly attempted suicide.
Nearly.
Yeah, but Lou managed to change his mind, but end up injuring and needing a hospital yet again.
Hey, I need a hospital. Anyone got one?
I mean, I ended up
Up with
injuring. I ended up
wait,
injured, so I need a
injured.
hospital. Yeah,
So
injured.
Jeff nearly attempted, like, he did. It's not that he, like, nearly died from
No, he
from
nearly
attempting.
attempted it.
So he was like,
going
you know,
to do it and then didn't.
And somehow still
And somehow
got
that
injured.
injured
And somehow Lou got injured during that.
No,
Did
Jeff
Lou or
got
did-
injured.
Yeah, I think it's Jeff.
Yeah,
Because hospital yet again.
So here's what he means. Like, Jeff, I don't know, like, tried to shoot himself and, like, he didn't die. And Lou, but then it says Lou changed his mind. So it sounded like he was like, I'm going to shoot myself. And Lou was like, no, man, don't do it. And so Jeff was like, okay, I won't do it. Oh, I'm injured.
Suddenly
yeah, it sounds
injured.
like
What
his
happened?
injury was unrelated.
Yeah.
I mean, injuries do plague him, or whatever it was earlier.
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
just-
exposure to injuries can cause your skin to whiten.
Right.
God, that's still so stupid.
Okay.
Colgate.
Yeah, I mean, that's just really what any kind of toothpaste is. It's just injury in gel form.
Damn.
It was then Jeff used the opportunity to fake his death. Lou wasn't on board at first, but down the line he agreed and pulled
Wait,
some
Lou was a
strings
part
to
of
get
this?
a fake death certificate for Jeff. Yeah,
Down
Lou was
the
What?
line.
Lou was always a part of this.
Lou was
Fuck! Why didn't you tell me who Lou was? Why
you
does
know-
this
Yeah,
Lou's
assume
just
I've
here.
already read Jeff the Killer?
This is for Jeff lovers.
Yeah, if we didn't know who Lou was before, then
We still don't know now because it doesn't
This
explain.
is a bad short story synopsis.
Matt, you're only supposed to read this if you are if you are in the know. Like, this is
If
for...
you're a real Jeff head.
If you're in the
Ah,
Jeff
shit.
Society, yeah.
That makes it a great irony that I'm the one reading because I don't know actually shit about Jeff lore.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, you weren't there.
No,
You
I
gotta
wasn't
subscribe
there, so I know
to,
nothing.
Subscribe to the Daily Jeff. Get
Yeah,
your,
the Daily Jeff.
your daily dose of Jeff.
The daily dose of kill. As far as everyone that knew Jeff was aware of, Jeff Hodek was dead. This is how he was able to pull off the string of murders for the first couple of years before the name Jeff the Killer came to be. However, as far
Why
as
did
the
they call him
investigating
Jeff the Killer?
however,
Unknown killer at large. They didn't know.
they just
so
called
they
him
give him a
Jeff.
generic
Weird
name,
coincidence.
Jeff Doe.
Yeah, why did they call him Jeff?
Weird
Yeah,
coincidence. However, as far as the investigating police was concerned, they were looking for someone that was currently living that went by Jeff the Killer. He
Legal
just-
name.
What? That's
Okay,
his
so-
name?
So you knew about his nickname, even though you thought Jeff Hodek was dead.
Yeah.
And didn't think Jeff Hodek was connected at all.
No, it said they're looking for someone that would by. So yeah, it's like first name Jeff, middle name last name Killer.
Killer. Like, that's what that comes off to me as.
Yeah, 'cause
They're
look
looking
at-
like a guy just
Dude,
named Jeff
Jeff-
the Killer.
Did Jeff sign his kills? Like, did he go, killed by Jeff the Killer?
I guess he
I
just
was-
had a.
rate my
I-
killing. Here's
he
my
had a
email
calling
address,
card, I
my
guess.
Yelp.
P.O. box, my cell phone. Be sure to ring me up between 3:30
Make sure to
and
like
4
my
a.m.
Facebook page.
Yeah, but look at this. So no, I'm serious. The name of Jeff the Killer. Notice that the is not capitalized, but then it is capitalized when it's someone currently living that went by Jeff the Killer. So it is a legal name.
Yeah,
It's his name, Jeff.
that's his.
the
That's
Killer.
his new identity after faking his death.
Hey everyone, here Kermit D. Frog here.
Jeff, don't you think this is maybe a little on the nose? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, he fills
no
out
one
a
will
form.
suspect that a guy legally named Jeff the Killer is
Jeff the
the
Killer.
killer going out there known as Jeff the Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like he fills out a form and it's like last name Killer, first name Jeff, middle initial T. You know.
Yeah, Jeff T. Killer.
Yeah.
The T stands for Jeff.
Oh.
It wouldn't be years down the line that Jeff Hodek was discovered to be alive
It
and was
wouldn't
to
be years down
Yes.
the line.
Yeah,
That's what it
I don't
says.
know what it would be then. What would it be? What
I don't even
would
know what
it
that
be?
means. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Why is
You know,
it written like this?
It's supposed to be until. It wouldn't be until years down the
The
line.
details are really stupid, but I think the Jeff the Killer story that everyone knows is actually better written.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For
Fuck
sure.
this. I don't even know if I believe it's the guy that wrote the original. Fuck this shit. This is garbage.
Well, I
was
would believe
published
that
in,
this
what,
guy would write this
2019?
shitty story called Jeff the Killer.
This was published in 2019. God.
So yeah, was discovered to be alive, was to be investigated, but and was to be investigated to rule out his involvement in murder.
So Jeff Hodek, are you so like he faked his death, Jeff Hodek did, changed his name legally to Jeff the Killer, and then became a killer going by the name of Jeff the Killer. And then they find out Jeff Hodek is alive, and they're like, could Jeff Hodek be the killer? And it's like, no,
Fuck, Jeff Hodek faked his death.
yeah, he faked his death and changed it and became Jeff T. Killer.
They wanted to investigate him to rule out his involvement in murder.
Even though
Yes.
he was dead.
Innocent until proven guilty is so strong that they were like, you know what? There's someone new named Jeff that's on the scene. Let's make sure 100% that they are not the killer.
Yes,
You know.
This is so
You know what I
fucking
mean.
bizarre.
it is.
Okay.
The Hodek brothers did what they could to elude police, but the power of government goes way over the head of two
no.
crafty men. The odds stacked
Oh,
against
no.
Jeff and would become a fugitive. The odds are becoming a fugitive. Forced him to be even more careful, relocating all around Jersey until he was caught.
Jersey?
All around Jersey.
Couldn't even fucking move states? Fuck you.
Seshur, do you have some
Yeah,
opinions about the government? Because as soon as that got mentioned, your sentence construction went to shit.
Well, here's the thing, though. Keep in mind, guys, he wants to kill people who are evil, corrupt, and superficial. So I mean, the Jersey Shore is like, he's just gonna.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be like Jersey Shore genocide.
Oh shit.
Also, I like how he wasn't trying to like elude them. He was trying to elude them.
Yes. Allude.
Not elude them, elude them. He was
Yeah.
trying to suggest or call attention indirectly to them.
He's trying to directly
Like,
call
fuck,
attention
dude.
to them instead of trying
At
to
least
dodge them. Yes.
Put the right fucking word there. I mean, I already can't take this shit seriously, but
Instead-
you're not helping.
Matt, you can take
put
it. I can't even
literally
take
the
it.
wrong word.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
So yeah, relocating all around Jersey until he was caught.
I love this
He was
part.
to be sentenced, but was committed to an insane asylum for his mental health being in the shitter by this point.
Oh yeah, I'll fucking bet. My mental health is in the shitter too, thanks.
It wasn't shortly after Jeff would find his mark and escape, rampaging
Find
all
his
the way back home.
Find his mark.
Mark?
Are
Yeah.
you just throwing words that you hear on
know
TV?
what-
Yeah, and
Do
this
you know
little
what
Jeff
words
Keller,
mean? Do you know how sentences are formed?
Yeah, it's like it's like the game you play with your baby. It's like, and this Jeff went rampage, rampage, rampage all the way home.
All the way
What the
back
fuck
home.
is this?
Lou and Jeff had to stay off the grid for a while to bide their times, and for a while they eluded capture.
It's not
Stop!
You can't. If it's multiple people, they still bide their time.
Dude, you want to bide our time sometime?
Yeah.
You want to do that, bro?
And for a while they eluded capture. Tragedy struck the Hodex, which nearly crippled them both emotionally.
What the hell's going on?
Tragedy. What was the
As
tragedy?
if
What
Jeff
happened?
isn't already fucking dead emotionally.
It's amazing to me how he always manages to include details I don't give a shit about, but never ones that would actually help. What was the tragedy? What was the injury?
Well, whatever it
They're
was.
actually going to
I
say
don't give
that.
a shit about your hot takes on virtue signaling. Can you give me stuff that helps the story along?
Yeah. Jeff went crazy and got sloppy, attacked a person out of anger for being an awful human being. However, it drew attention, and the brothers had to find a hotel to sneak and break into to lay low. The cop managed to find a lead, but had no idea With was the fugitive and asylum escapee. The cop was going in for the arrest, but was swiftly killed by Lou.
Lou the
God,
killer.
I feel like I just got struck in the back of the head by a brick.
I have no idea what to imagine.
Yeah,
I am feeling
I feel
put
like I've
upon
been
so many
pummeled by so
building
many
bricks.
building bricks.
God.
What the
like this
fuck?
this honestly reads like why they call it an oven when you oven the cold food of out hot eat the
Yeah.
food.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Like that's
like they-
every
Yeah,
time.
of out hot, kill the Lou, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
Seshur wrote something in normal English, then ran it through Google Translate back to English and uploaded that.
Yeah.
No.
Multiple rounds, making
Hey.
sure to go through a lot of languages that have like different, different vocabularies
I
and
became
like
the
word
king of
grammar
that.
structure.
I used to do that with song lyrics all the time. Maybe I'll do that after this video, but you know what? I think he probably translated into one language. Nonsense. And then like only half of it made it back into sense when it translated back into to English.
Yeah.
Are you sure half of it? I'm not even sure half of this fucking story makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Oh
almost
my
none.
god, guys. It got worse from there.
Oh, fuck off.
Jeff
Not
and
you, the
Lou
story.
were spotted fleeing the hotel, and a countrywide manhunt was deployed.
No, that's not country.
Oh, sorry, a county-wide manhunt was deployed. They couldn't return home. The police were already searching frantically with SWAT team, K9 units, and all the works.
Yeah, they
All
got
the
him a
works.
big pizza.
Okay,
With capital
faked his
S
death.
SWAT team.
timeline. Jeff faked his death, became a killer, got caught, broke out, then almost got caught again, but it's like, you already did all this stuff before. Like,
No. He broke
but
out,
Connor.
and then he was insane. He broke out, then he was insane again somehow due to a tragedy.
Yeah,
Then he killed
unplugged-
someone, which is apparently something he hadn't done before.
Yeah, even though he was
And,
going to yeah,
then they
yeah,
almost
but,
got caught
the
again.
killer.
but guys, you guys forgot. Don't you just hate virtue signalers?
I do hate
And how
that.
patronizing they are.
That's really the takeaway here. Fucking virtue signalers.
Yep, sure.
And chip
Whatever.
implants. I hate chip implants.
Oh, God.
I just really like, I have to say, I really like capital S SWAT team.
Yeah, SWAT team.
Only capital S.
Yeah,
only
I don't
capital
know what
S,
SWAT
exactly.
stands for, but only the S is getting used.
Show up with fly swatters and just whack,
Yeah.
whack, whack.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fly police, my dude. Lou and Jeff fled the area and made plans to separate so the heat can die down. Lou goes to Maine to keep their mother company. Jeff fled
Their
to
mother?
Michigan. Yeah, their mother.
Wait, I love
She's-
this. I love this part here. Read the start of that again. Jeff fled to Michigan.
Okay. So Lou goes to Maine to keep their mother company. Jeff fled to Michigan. It was a good place to go, and it's the state that made his favorite ice cream flavors.
What?
What? I was really tripping up because I'm not sure if I saw that right, but no, that is what it says.
Michigan. It was a
What?
good place to go. That's the state motto. Michigan, a good place to go.
Yeah, they actually have that on the fucking state sign. They're like, come to Michigan.
They have the
It's a
best
good
ice cream
place to go.
flavors.
Jeff
It's
the
like
Killer
fucking
approved.
Rax's. You can eat here.
Yeah, you drive into Michigan. There's just a big picture of Jeff the Killer right on the state line.
Home of Jeff's favorite ice cream.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah.
Home of Jeff's favorite ice cream.
Rax. You can eat here. Found in Michigan. It's a good place to be.
Yeah,
It's a place you can go.
it is a place that exists.
That reminds me of when, just to give us a brief break from the story, the actual state motto of Indiana for a while was,
I'm gonna turn Matt down. I can't hear Blake over him.
Sorry. I'm
yeah,
done.
Matt's just dying. I'm used to Matt dying, so I don't even notice it anymore.
Are you saying he's
good.
being killed?
But yeah, exactly.
Jeff,
Bye.
I think Jeff the
Jeff
Killer
the,
got me. I think this is how I'm gonna die.
Go to sleep. But no, the actual state motto of Indiana for a while was Wander, Indiana.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the idea of like, why should I come here? I'll just wander around.
Just
find
go
something,
for a
maybe.
stroll.
Why should I come here? It's a good place to go.
Yeah, it's like, I'll go to Michigan. That's a good place to go. Why would I wander around your shitty state when I can go to Michigan? A good place to go. Jeff's favorite ice cream. I mean, it's like, you can't give me something, Indiana. You can't give me any reason to come.
Yeah.
Jeff's favorite ice cream is there.
So that's where they're going. So they left Jersey for over a year. When they came back, they had to make an ultimatum. By the end of it, Jeff and Lou were able to get a second chance.
What?
What?
What ultimatum is this? Jeff, you have to stop killing. I
Yeah,
know
stop
it's all you
murdering.
do
Why
now,
does this
but
read
you
like a
have to
rejected
stop.
like Netflix pitch?
No, yeah. Dude,
I mean, I would reject
Jeff
it.
and Lou make the ultimatum. They're like, look, you're going to, you're going to let us off the hook or else.
Like fucking somebody sent this to like HBO and HBO just fucking threw it straight in the trash.
Jeff, as your brother, I am so sick of seeing you go around killing. Okay, the killing needs to stop. Just be Jeff, the insane guy who does something besides kill people.
Well, they are.
Please,
Take a
for
look
me.
at their second chance.
Okay.
So they were able to get their second chance. They changed their identities and was transported to a capital F farm on open acres with tree lines seen from a distance in the state of Ohio.
Was transported to. They're not cats. They don't go to a farm upstate. What was
I mean,
that?
they're clearly going to a farm in Ohio.
They changed their identities and then
Oh.
was transported to a farm. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's garbage.
I hate to say this. This story has lost the fucking plot. You've lost the plot.
Like
No,
I
synopsis
feel
lost
like
the
I
plot.
could
That's a real
follow it
problem.
kind of at the start, but now I'm super extra lost.
I feel like I had trouble like following it at all, and now I'm just completely lost. What does this have to do with Jeff the Killer?
They killed so many people that their lives were at threat from people seeking revenge, so they put them in witness protection. It's the killer
This is
protection program.
insane.
They give you a farm.
Why should I care about this story?
I want you
Or
to
Jeff.
imagine Jeff the Killer, his big carved grin, his bright white face, and just imagine him in like a flannel shirt and overalls, like leaning on a pitchfork.
Yeah, Jeff just needs to do good, honest farm work day in, day out. Wake up with the roosters,
In the
go to
heartland.
bed by
Jeff
the
the
sun
farmer.
setting, and yeah.
He's
mean-
Jeff the farmer. He's your local neighborhood farmer.
Could you imagine how much happier and more peaceful your life would be if you were just a humble farmer living in the heartland?
Instead of a killer, yeah.
Instead of a killer named Jeff.
He's got the bleached white face and the insane grin, but you know what? He's happy as long as he has a good harvest every fall.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen how much that man cares for his chickens? It's amazing. Jeff's currently laying low, trying to change his ways. But he's got that killer instinct, and it's unknown he'll live out his life kill-free. He already won't. He killed people.
He's killed so many people.
Lou's child is displaying psychotic traits, and Jeff and Lou fear for the child's future. He/she may mature into a psychopath with no mercy and remorse, only for a taste of destruction.
Uncle Jeff, can you teach me how to kill?
No, I can't. I'm too busy caring for this cow, milking this cow, yes.
I'm too busy breeding my chickens.
Wait, you know the actual reason it's he/she? Because Sesher doesn't know yet what they're going to make the kid. They don't know if they want Jane the Killer or Jeffy Jr., you know?
I mean, it sounds like
Jefferson
the child is
Jr.
completely irrelevant to why we should care about Jeff the Killer.
Yeah, they're like, when they write the sequel, that's when they'll make a hard decision.
This already sounds like it's going to be like a 4-book series, and like anything anyone cares about would happen in book 1, and then Seshua just drags it out, and it's like 3 generations later, and it's like, I don't give a shit.
Well, if you're confused, don't worry. There's 51 comments, and let's sort of look for Sesher's Q&As, like some good ones.
Well, hang on a second. I'm sorry. I'm reeling here. I'm having so much trouble believing that this is the fucking guy that wrote Jeff the Killer. This is his vision.
Yeah, I mean, you're
This
surprised
is
that
fucking
Jeff the Killer
epic
is
story
bad.
of Jeff. Jeff is a modern day Greek hero.
Yeah, there have been many stories told about Jeff. All right.
Okay, can I start with the?
Yeah.
Yes, the Q&As,
I found a good
please.
Q&A. Okay, so JDS asks a lot of questions, but number 2, how would you describe his personality and how he takes to people being kind to him? And then Seshua responds, his personality had changed prominently 3 or 4 times over the course of his life.
Oh my god,
I
he really
that.
just
Total personality changes. Let's see. He had a normal personality. This Jeff would welcome you with open arms, maybe offer you a beer. Then his second personality change was after that fateful day, spending nearly a whole year in recovery. Second personality? When did his first? Okay.
No, his original personality, like who he was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just worded badly because
change.
it's called the second personality change.
So yeah, he just goes into huge depth about each personality change.
It's absolutely insane.
So
and listen, these questions. Where was Jeff born? Does he have an accent? Wait a minute. Wait, born in New Jersey, disfigured by acid. At this point, Jeff the Killer is really more of a Toxie wannabe than a Joker wannabe.
Yeah.
So going back to JDS, whatever. 3, how much damage can he take before being knocked out? How strong is he?
I'm going to add him to Mugen, yeah.
Yeah. And then Seshur answers, Jeff's durability is reasonably above average compared to a regular man due to his extreme lifestyle, training, and the cocktail of drugs and other chemical experiments Jeff subjected himself to during his earlier years of his murder career. For example, Jeff could take 4 or 5 head blows from Mike Tyson in his prime before being knocked out.
For example, when Jeff plays Punch-Out, he doesn't go down in one hit when he faces Mike Tyson.
Whoa.
He can take a triple star punch right to the noggin.
His bones have improved tensile strength, leaving most bone-related injuries being hairline fractures. Jeff is strong enough to deadlift around 600 pounds, or 272 kilograms, using his full body power potential at his peak strength.
What?
Would you say he can lift several times his weight with his back and legs?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is a deadlift.
Stop!
Yeah.
Wow.
What? You know that phrase of don't beat your heroes? That's how I feel right now.
Don't beat the author.
Yeah, don't meet your villains either.
Don't meet your villains.
Yeah. Real quick, I just said this in the beginning.
Sad waste.
But I would like to encourage you to not comment on any of this.
Yeah, please.
Please.
No.
No questions, no
fucking
comments,
sad
no nothing.
waste. What an absolutely pathetic fucking
Hey guys, it's me,
backstory.
Jeff the Killer. You want to go to the gym?
I mean, other people like it's literally just people like just asking questions, and he writes these huge ass responses.
Oh,
like the relationship
God,
with
you're
her
right
show-
about
Where is
huge
the
ass.
Sessur, you motherfucker? Where is the story that this is the fucking this is the synopsis of? I want to see your fucking story.
Wait,
This
listen
synopsis is nonsense and it's completely nuts. Where's the fucking story?
Yo, Matt, listen to this. Let's replace, let's do like an X-Men, where it's just to be like a stand-in for various things. Let's replace being a killer with being gay in this paragraph about Jeff's mother and see if it makes more sense.
Oh,
Their relationship
God.
with their mother was strong and loving, but a bit strained. During Jeff's murderous decade, they did their best to keep it a secret from their family. Their father knew about Jeff's actions and naturally was highly against it. He was upset about how his two sons were living, and their relationship was tense, but he still loved his sons. He wanted Jeff to be put away for the safety of other people and Jeff himself. He wanted Jeff to be put into a psych ward where he could get the help he needed, but he refused to do anything about it himself because he didn't like the idea of himself being the one putting Jeff away. He hid his son's lifestyle from his wife in order to protect her emotionally. If she knew her sons were doing horrible deeds, it would cause her so much trauma it would put her in an early grave.
Wow.
He hit her son's lifestyle, but Jeff faked his
His
death
murder
and then became a
his
killer.
death-
Remember when the other story when Jeff killed his fucking family? Yeah. Damn, I never thought I'd miss that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was simple
Remember-
and relatively normal.
Yeah.
Jeff got injured, went insane, killed his family like immediately.
Dude, I like
Didn't
to
have
ask
this
that
on
question.
again, off again soap
this
opera.
isn't the story of like a psychotic killer. This is like somebody's shitty fucking crime drama.
Yeah, you're like trying to turn Jeff into an anti-hero.
It's
Yeah.
like
He's supposed
a
to
really
just be a
shitty
crazy
crime
killer.
drama.
Antihero is
so
It's
Yeah,
not
who's the
scary
mother?
at all.
All of Jeff's murders are actually justified, except for the one where he snapped and went crazy and almost
No,
got
even
them
that one was
arrested
justified.
again.
It said that he killed a man that he thought was bad or something.
Right, but that was supposed to be different than
He
the
killed a
others.
horrible human being. Like, I guess he's like the reboot Joker this time, huh?
I don't know. All I know is that I really like, Connor, I really like your observation of Sister trying to turn Jeff into like this anti-hero when it's like, no, he was... If
was
we
a
go by
fucking
the story
killer.
everybody knows as being the
Wait,
original,
I would 100%
then it's just
disagree.
like
He's not an
he's just a
anti-hero.
scary dude being a murder crazy man.
No, man, he's not. I disagree. He's not an anti-hero. He's a hero. He kills virtue signalers.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did
That's,
kill
that's like being a firefighter, man.
This is like the literal untold story kind of thing, where it's like
It is an
you
untold
might
story,
you
yeah.
might think this thing about him. You might think on the surface is pretty normal, but he actually has this deep, complex backstory and
Yeah.
issues with his parents. And
He's
For
the
some
Hannibal
reason,
Lecter
he
of our
has
time.
superhuman strength, like more
Yeah.
than average
Oh, man.
strength or stuff.
That's what he
Guys.
wants Jeff to be. He wants Jeff to be Hannibal Lecter. He wants him to be this really interesting, complex serial killer. But he's just some doof. He's some doofus.
oh, here, actually, I'll just read straight from Sessur. During the event of Jeff's life as a murderer, his mind slowly became more demented. He slowly saw most of the world as evil, corrupted, shallow. Any kind of display of such actions marked a death sentence in Jeff's book. He saw himself above it all, since he was doing it for the greater good, and was a huge believer in an eye for an eye. So in his mind, he was a hero. He'd dispatch people that were truly horrible, and then he'd kill people who only displayed a certain amount of what Jeff hated. And since he wouldn't know all about how the victim lived, he'd only act on what he knew of the person in question. He considered himself a misunderstood hero.
Wow.
Cool.
So really shitty Jigsaw, actually.
You know what I consider him though? I consider it garbage.
Yeah. Well, and I like when someone asks a question that he doesn't know about. This sort of confirms my thing about the kid. Who's the mother of Lou's son? And he says she's unknown so far. Plan to flesh that part out, but she did meet him in 2005. That's all.
I'm glad we got the fucking date here. Now we know.
So he doesn't even know who the mom is yet, much less whether the kid's going to be, Jane.
Wait, they met
or
in
Jeff
2005,
But
so
we
they
have
met
to make the
before
timeline,
Jeff
Richard.
started fucking killing people?
Yes.
They were he just had that sounds like a fucking retcon to me.
Wow. Yeah.
That sounds like a Saw retcon if I've ever heard one. I'm
Lou
ready for the
meets a
fucking
girl,
Saw twist.
And then Jeff takes him on the run, and all this shit happens, and then they could get back together.
Yeah, Jeffy and Clyde.
Wow.
But no, this is actually a really great exchange, possibly to end on, where Agent of Kekistan at the bottom says that, Jeff, I'm going to sort of summarize this so I don't read the whole thing. But he says Jeff has a strange moral foundation. He seems to kill criminals, but criminals can have motives to help their family take revenge on someone. Like criminals aren't always bad people.
Yeah. Can you explain this?
And so Sester is like, well, being a murderer became more demented. This is what Connor read, right? And Agent Kekistan said, why didn't his brother just address this to a psychologist and get him some help? Then Jeff, as a killer, wouldn't even exist. And Sester's like, well, psychology and therapy doesn't magically fix any issues. Some people live such miserable lives or have something mentally wrong, not even a therapist may be of such help. And Agent of Kekistan says, okay, I just put up with fact then that you're talking a bullshit and pour a water.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Man, you don't answer on questions. You just wrote drivel. It's not my fault you're a graphomaniac.
I appreciate the intent, but neither of you can get a point across.
Yeah, no.
To quote Sesher, what?
What?
God, man.
God.
This is just fucking trash.
And this
I'm
is
sorry.
only
I am so sorry. Sessur, if you're reading this, or not reading this, I'm sorry, Sessur, if you're listening to this, you wrote garbage. I have no apologies. I'm not going soft. This is the worst fucking thing we've read. This beat out Sonic.exe as the worst fucking thing we've read this month. This is the worst. I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you fucking did it, but the original Jeff the Killer thing we read is somehow a million times better than this.
And I was just gonna wrap up, the month and whatever and say, like, as someone I'd never read really any of these stories, and this was definitely an experience getting to finally see them all and see what they are.
Same. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never read any of them either. I missed out on that. And you know what? I'm kind of glad now.
Yeah.
It's nice to know I wasn't missing that much.
Thank you so much for watching, and an extra special thanks to our platinum level patrons, Polly Heber, Dr. Faust, Hoshkoff, ODST795, and Stannis the Manus. If you'd like to support us, make sure you check out the description. There's links to our Patreon and PayPal. There's also a link to a Google form. You can fill that out if you have a story you'd like us to cover. You'll also see a link to our casting call page. Right now, we're working on setting up a big project that will be debuting in January of next year. It's the largest story that we've ever covered, and there's a ton of voices. And right now, you can audition to be one of the voices in the story. The instructions are there on the page. Just follow the link and submit your audition. We're looking forward to hearing it. Thanks again for your support, and have a wonderful day.